Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. It is Monday, January 7th. It is a Monday. You gotta remember, it is a Monday. Where is, did it not open? Oh, it opened over here. Okay. I was like, where's my web browser? So let's just really quickly go ahead and pull out all of our links here. There's that one. And here's the YouTube. There's the YouTube. Okay. Got some stuff going on today. Let's start to squawk. So we've got non-ISM manufacturing at 8 o'clock. How come my, I need to take your shields down for this website. There we go. USD, Euro, Canadian matters sometimes too. And we really want to see the week. I don't know why it's not doing that for us all of a sudden, but okay. So we got ISM today. Tomorrow, not really a whole lot tomorrow. We get the auctions coming up though. Auction week, okay. And CPI at the end of the week. Okay, so this might be a little bit of a disjointed week. I don't really see a whole lot of reason for me. Well, hold on. Wow, wait, hold on. That can't be right. I'm looking at my chart. And there's like this huge jump. Like the fourth didn't happen or something. Let's like reload all data. Bitcoins took a pretty decent move up at the end of the week, but which makes me think maybe somebody was short. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we're about where we ended the week before. Here again, we need to reload our data. Okay. And are we within? I mean, we're kind of within the volume profile. So we may see somebody go short here, but we do appear to still be in balance. So there's not a huge incentive, reason, whatever, to get to get seriously involved here. We are seeing a little bit better liquidity today. 4,000s. So that's good. Good morning. Some people are talking about trade deals. I'm wondering if so is there some news here that I don't know about?
Equity News Tyson Group board member Hans-Peter Keitel resigning, according to the Manager magazine, citing sources.
Trump says trade talks are going well because China's slowing economy is motivating them. And I'll turn the squawk up a little bit. Let me know, guys, if the volume level is good. So, yeah. Anyways. Hmm. Yeah, straight talks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the situation that they want to make a deal. That's been the situation for a long time. You know what I mean? Like that's what it that has been the case ever since they had that meeting at like the G20 and they came out and they said that they were hopeful or whatever, you know? So I'm not seeing it. I think of course they want to, but futures trading Discord still won't they still can't seem to connect it together with a restream. Mm-mm-mm. Let's put a good little blurb out here on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good move up, and let's reload the data on Bitcoin here just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. If I could get short 14.5, maybe it would be worth it. The problem I have here is that we're kind of at the top of the range. Hold on. Man, my eyes are watering like crazy today. Um, we kind of have been building a range here for quite some time. In fact, the last pivot low was 13. So there's a chance that we go to 13, maybe even 12.5, but then we bounce off of that and we could go back up here to the top. So if I want to go short, it's probably best to get 14 or 14.5. I don't think that my risk reward is as good down here. The chances of just getting like a move all the way down here to the bottom in a market that looks pretty slow and doesn't have any news until 8 o'clock, I think is low. And it's a Monday. So as tempted as I am, and maybe I'm going to miss something fun, but I think that it's best. Hi Flo, how's it going? YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. I'm liking, so I really like this restream chat thing that I've got going on here, right? So I can see YouTube and Twitch at the same time. But when it says that I have one viewer, it only tells me the viewers for Twitch. So I have one viewer on Twitch, but then when I come over here to YouTube, I have like, well, it's still early, so we got like 5 people on YouTube. But I don't know, kind of irks me. It's like, why doesn't it tell me? Well, anyways, hey, you know what we could do? Let's try this. Let's try the text to speech. Yeah, that should be fun. You know, I had the text to speech on in Discord for the longest time, but then I kind of turned it off because it was kind of kept interrupting me. But you know, not much is going on today. I don't even know if I'm going to take a trade today. So, well, I think I'll take a trade today, but it might not be for a while. Like we might have wait until ISM. Seen that buy was 5,000 contracts long there down at the bottom. Aren't we glad they didn't get involved? Man. That's weird. Mark 1 saying my time in sales doesn't show numbers for the last days, and yesterday it doesn't load. That's weird. But that could be because you were doing it on a Saturday. What else happened over the weekend in here? The lobby. Does anyone have cumulative delta indicators? Oh, so I can't use. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I do. Let's see if he's still there. Top Titty Tommy? What kind of a name is that? Here, let's see if we can find it. It'll be down here at the bottom. Cumulative delta. There we go. That's the one that I wrote. Gets the job done. I have another one. That's not actually the one I'm using anymore, is it? But I don't remember the website you download the other one from. Was it Lizard Indicators? No, I think it was Sim. I think it was Sim that made it. Yes, it was. Ooh, actually, it's only one file, so let's do that. There we go. Oh yeah, we should only show today. As much as I'd like to brag about how well I did last week, we really only need to see today. Yeah, even the squawk is being awfully quiet today. Let's look. I wonder. More stock market carnage could force Trump to make a China trade deal, expert says. Probably not. I mean, really, uh, I think to some extent, if Donald Trump had not taken on China, I think the economy probably never would have had this downturn. Maybe we would have gone sideways for a little bit, but I think things would have stayed up pretty strong. And maybe his losses in Congress wouldn't have been as bad. Yeah, so there was a couple there, especially in the Senate, that were really close. And maybe he wouldn't be facing like a super majority in the House, but who knows? Like if he was doing well, um, the political landscape would change dramatically, and so it's almost impossible for us to really know. I mean, for all we know, it would have caused Democrats to take a completely different strategy. They could do better, they could do worse, but I think that the trade deals really hurt him politically, right? Um, and doesn't seem to me like he cares. So I don't think that the economy, more stock market carnage would really change anything. And the issue is that um, a lot of the carnage that we've had as of late has been because China is doing weak, and a lot of the U.S. growth is tied up in China. Um, but that's a lot of U.S. growth, but not all U.S. growth. So kind of what you end up is that any time that we get that carnage, it's actually more incentive for China than it is for the United States to make a deal. But it appears to me that China is making some good faith efforts to, you know, make a deal. They're talking about changing laws to fix the technology transfers. I mean, they want to change it, I think. But I don't know. Adrian says, I think the trade war isn't helping markets, but rising rates is the main reason equities are down. Either way, I suck at trading, so who cares? Well, the rates definitely had a huge impact. Huge impact. The Fed chairman's comments, or let's say disjointed communication strategy there towards the end of December really hurt. I mean, good grief, the FOMC meeting was a total disaster. I've never seen anything like that. Markets were so unhappy about that. That's a little tick up there. I don't know. It's interesting. We had this big buy here, and it makes you wonder. It was almost. It was in a block order. Oh no, wait. That must have been way before that. Really though, like I think that we run into let me gather my thought here. I think that we very often will make the mistake of attributing the market action all to one thing, right? Like we want to say the downturn in the markets is because of interest rates or because of China. But really, I mean, there's like five things going on here, right? The market does tend to go down going into a government shutdown. So that's a third reason. And then you've got Brexit, which is a fourth reason. So, and then you got the Democrats control Congress. I think that probably is affecting stocks a little bit. Um, and we were just really high to begin with, anyways, right? So there was just a big combination of factors going together, and it really, assuming let's just assume for a second that the bottom is in. It really got about as bad as it could get, because that's like, we're not going into a recession, but we did have a really big market downturn, and you lose 20%. I think that's about right. Well, not about right. I mean, like, that's about as bad as it can get, because to go further than that, you want to have, not that you want to, but you're probably going to have a recession. And at the moment, at least, I do not believe that we're going to have a recession. Okay, so I don't know if that was some robots or what, but they did decide to take 13.5 offer. It's just, kind of a perfect storm of things to get the market to move down. But I will say the market is different. When we have bear runs, it is not the same that it was in December. In December, that looked to me like all of the scalpers were just taking things short, and they're not there anymore. At least they weren't there on Friday. So I think we may have put in a bottom. Maybe. I don't want to speak, don't quote me on that. I don't want y'all coming back here in a week and be like, "Hey Seth, you said that the markets were good, that we had made a bottom and that the markets are going to go up." And I don't want you to say that. Now, if the markets do go up, then now I want you to say, "Oh, Seth, you totally predicted it." But but don't quote me on that until I'm right? And Adrian's typing something else. How do you deduce whether certain price action is due to algos? That is a really good question. So, the straight answer is I don't really know for sure. I'm just guessing. And one of the things is that I kind of know a little bit about how the large institutions send their orders, because I worked for Goldman Sachs for 6 years. I want to move this. Where should I move this to? Just put it right there. It was getting in the way of seeing the orders. So one of the things that Goldman Sachs does, like the whole platform that we had set up, and granted this was for equities, but they do it in futures too, is we would take somebody would have an order and they wanted to buy like 10,000 of something, and it would split the order up, and it would send it to different exchanges to take advantage of the liquidity on different exchanges. And it would also split the lots up into smaller lots with random lot sizes, so that nobody could trace that all of those orders came from a large institution. And they even split it up like over time. So like, we'll run an algorithm and we'll say, I want to buy below 13.5, and it will just kind of,
In energy news,
hold on.
India's Bharat Petroleum to buy 1 million barrels per day of Iranian oil in February after a 3-month halt.
It'll send a flurry of orders when it's getting its price, and then it will kind of hold off on there's a bunch of things involved, and I don't understand that part. But so when I'm looking at this tape and I see a bunch of orders come in like almost all at once, and they're all kind of like seemingly random sizes, then my first thought is that might be a large institution buying or selling it, right? So then the second thing is like, if it's a scalping robot, or rather like an arbitrage algorithm of some sort, then the thing that I'm looking for that could tell me that it's an algorithm is that it happens fast. So like, well, we don't really have a good. Oh, okay. So here in ZB, there's 174. Let's say that somebody bought and we went bid, and then immediately it got hit and went offer again. That's a robot. Because nobody, I mean, you're talking about something really, human reaction time is like 300 milliseconds. You can go and test it on the human reaction test, right? Average human reaction time is going to be about 300 milliseconds. When you're trading and you got to think about it and like, do we really want to buy it? And you're not really sure. It could be literally like 300 milliseconds to a half a second to make a decision and trade it, right? If you're really fast, you can get like 150 milliseconds, right? So we're talking about like a tenth of a second. So when you get orders that come through faster than a tenth of a second, that has to be an algorithm. You know that it has to be an algorithm, right? And then the other thing is just the location. Like
In
we're
equity news, we're seeing
hold on.
Nomura cut the target price on some of the FANG stocks here. Facebook cutting the target price on the stock to 148 from 161, and for Alphabet they cut the target price to $1350 from $1400.
So, you know, we have established a range between 14.5 and 13. The
Meanwhile, for
13
Netflix, Nomura
price,
cut the target price to 300 from 370.
this 13 price seems pretty balanced, right? So, like, institution might not necessarily want to trade here, right? Like, if an institution wants to go short, he's going to try and get 14.5, 14. Or at least, you know, that's what I want is 14.5, 14. Maybe if they give it to me. And so, what's the reason for them to get involved here? And really, even like a retail guy, even with just a one lot, what is necessarily the reason to get involved here at 13? To sell 13, you think that there's going to be a breakout? Like it's so quiet right now? I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but it just doesn't seem like a very wise trade to me, right? So if you see a flurry of 800 orders try and sell into 13, you know, there's a pretty good chance that those are robots. And you will see them do it. They'll sell everything here at 13 and take it offer, and then there'll only be like 1,200 on the offer, and then they'll buy it back up, and they'll go back and forth like that forever and ever and ever until a larger trader decides that it's time for it to move, you know? So when I see that, that's why I kind of say, like, obviously I don't know for sure if all of those orders are algorithms, but it's pretty likely that a lot of those are algorithms that simply see that there isn't a whole lot being bid or offered and are taking it on the hopes that they're going to get one tick. And when they hit back, so like they'll go bid 14, that's an algorithm. They buy it, and then if it doesn't go, they just sell back into 14. And one of the key things you want to watch for is if we go bid 14 and then you see a couple almost immediately hit 14.5, that's the robot realizing that it's not going to get, maybe it was short and it's not going to get its one tick, and so it's bailing. You know, that's kind of how it works. So that's how I try to determine if it's a robot. The major ways. I guess one more thing is these significant changes in liquidity that you'll see all at once, especially when that happens across multiple prices. Usually robots, you know. So it could be the same algorithm, both changing things in the level 2 and putting orders in, right? When they happen all at once, pretty good chance that that's an algorithm. And then there's other weird things like
Hey.
machine guns. Hey, Rung, how's it going? Okay, so we know that the text to speech thing works. Don't abuse it, guys. What was it? What was it that we that really messes it up? Now we're gonna mess with it because we might as well because I'm not gonna short 13. I, and I'm not feeling longs right now. Although, um, I mean we are up a little bit. I mean the last swing was up, but we're below the open price. I don't really want to be involved here. What was it? It was like W was like putting a bunch of W's together. And like go W W W W. I remember when we had it on in Discord that a couple of people put in some funny things. And it'll try and read out the smiley faces too. Yeah, every time that I think about it, I'm like, oh, gotta go in and figure out how to get Discord attached to Restream. But like, what would I change? I need to just like put in like a support ticket or something. Because it should have fixed by now. Let's try it in Google Chrome. So I've wondered sometimes maybe it's um, the web browser, because my web browser is extremely sensitive to any kind of privacy tracking. And so a lot, if it's like relying on cookies and things like that, then it doesn't, it complains basically. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Nope. Say I load it, it just says, oops, something went wrong. Try reloading the page. And you reload it, and it just says the same thing. And it's like it's connected, but it can't see the channels. Well, I mean, if that feature worked, if their chat feature like worked, I would consider buying their service. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. They never really gave us 14.5, did they? Not since the open. Anyways, so it actually looks like they've increased they've increased the amount. I thought that they had like a $9. Oh, that's right. If you do it yearly, then it comes down to like $15. Billed as one payment, $133. But all it gives you is, oh, that's not it. There's got to be more. There's got to be a more detailed description somewhere. Support chat. Let's send them a message. Let's send them a message. Okay, let's type in here. I cannot get Discord to connect with the chat when I load up the settings to select which channel. The page just says there was an error. Need to refresh, but refreshing does nothing. Interesting sound. Restream typically replies within 5 minutes. First, you go into your user settings. Oh. Oh, okay. They're aware of this bug and they will fix it in the next update. Ah, okay. So we just have to be patient and wait for them to fix it. But I would be very happy if they were to fix it. I'm trying to find here, like. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's like a little monitor and stuff. See, there's all sorts of great stuff about this. But I want to know, where is. There's got to be like a better. No, I don't know how it is. Thank you for your understanding. Is there anything else that concerns me? Nope. Thank you, Michal. Bum, bum, ba-dum. See, it seems like the only thing that you get for paying for them is you can stream to Facebook and you can like double, so like you can send to like to two Twitch channels at the same time, which, like, why would you want that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Real-time channel management, which I doesn't say what that is. Anyways. Yep, a 5140 bid right at the point of control. You know, that bid at 12 has been there for a while, but there's a pretty big one showing up at 15 now as well that kind of more recently showed up. Anyways, where was I? Like, there's gotta be... Well, let's go into here. See, look at all the different services they support too. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But you can do Facebook, which is probably the key one. I don't know what these two are. Never heard of these. Yeah. Oh, I also like that the Restream bot passes the messages between the two. I don't know if we'll give him the Restream bot, have him talk in the futures channel though, but that might get annoying. Well, we could turn it on for a while, and then if it ever becomes a problem, then we could do that. Then we could do that. I think that would be best. And then maybe we can get some of our YouTube guys a little better help in terms of like indicators and stuff like that. So I'm wondering here. So now it's going off for 12.5. Now, see that action right there, 12.5. Probably robots. One of the things, because they were talking about how slow it was, or how slow it is. I mean, this actually isn't that bad for like a Monday and the spot that it's in and the time of day that it is. This is actually fairly normal, right? But maybe we're just so spoiled from last week. You know what I mean? Because last week was crazy town. Crazy town. Let's see if we get any news coming in here. Israeli central bank leaves rates at 0.25%. I find it really interesting that there's all these other central banks are doing things and they should be affecting what we do here in Treasuries, but we almost never talk about it or notice. Somebody on Twitter, anyone shorting 30-year treasuries here after the recent 2 months run up?
Updating a little bit on these China-US talks, and the US pushing China to follow through on their trade promises, essentially mirroring what we heard Wilbur Ross say in terms of enforcement. Looking further into that piece as well. According to individuals with knowledge of the discussions, US negotiators, led by Deputy US Trade Representative Jeffrey Gerish, are pressing their Chinese counterparts, headed by the Vice Commerce Minister Wang Shuen, to come up with ways to ensure that Beijing will make good on its promises. For instance, the US side wants China to be specific about what it will purchase by specific dates. In addition, if Beijing revises regulations to boost the US access to China's markets, US negotiators want assurance that it won't use government authority over licensing, environmental regulation, and other areas to hinder American companies. Put that piece on our board and retweeted the same.
Oh, there it is right there. U.S. pushes China to follow through on trade promises. By the way, is the volume good there? Let me know if it's like too loud. I mean, I want my voice to be louder than that, but I still want you guys to be able to hear it. Or maybe you guys don't want to hear it at all because you want to have the squawk on your own side for latency reasons. I don't know. Honestly, if anything that was like super important, probably would actually see on Twitter first. Funny how that works, right? There's a little bit more level 2 activity going on here now. I might see a little something happen. Mm-hmm. This person that was thinking about shorting the 30-year treasury, so it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, we were on Friday. Now, it's not such a good deal. Okay, so a lot of those orders consolidated up at 15.5. That's super interesting.
Italy's trio is apparently set to join a meeting with the Banca Carige administrators.
That is not that is not something that we can trade on, but it is definitely something that we got to keep an eye on here. And it actually is pulling. He's listening, and he saw that I noticed, and so he pulled it. Or maybe they just gave up on it because the equities moved up there a little bit. So that rally there in equities, that might have been people trading off of that story coming through about trade. Could just be Twitter robots for all we know. And they left a bunch of look at a really big bright white at 26.30.75. So we'll have to watch that price level when we come back to it. $25, $30. I don't know. The thing is that there was a pretty good rush up, but it's not like treasuries are like running for the door or anything. But that liquidity there did disappear. Makes you wonder. Somebody's doing something. It's probably a little tricky. Let's check out what's going on Reddit too. Because I know, guys, it's like mind-numbingly boring right now. And until it's in this spot, it's just kind of like, keep an eye on it for sure. Well, we really want to know who's in charge. Are they going to finally pressure them here and push through the 12? You have been visited by the comfortable garlic bread of good back support. Upvote in 3 weeks or never sit comfortably again. You have a lot of time for this one. I understand if you're busy, no rush. Oh, man. Nope, I didn't do it. I pulled back to 500. Now, this one we should watch because that could be a lure. Seems a little fishy that it would be so light. Well, they were able to go bid without much trouble. So, no lure. But we'll see what happens. I think that somebody probably wants to get filled at 12. Especially if the E-mini turns here. It actually would not be out of the question to buy it at 12.5. You do get okay risk reward, but I think we would need to see something like a significant change in the picture, you know. Because I guess the problem is we're still not sure if the daily direction is going to be up or down. We've only moved in the opening range. We only moved 5 ticks. So yeah, that's not very good movement. We can't really make any serious conclusions on that. Um, well, okay. Somebody arguing with me that Obama accomplished more with Congress than Donald Trump did, and he's saying Dodd-Frank. Well, okay, so there was Dodd-Frank, and there was the healthcare bill. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I don't think was a Congress thing, right? That was just Obama. Tightening sanctions on Iran. Well, yes, but Donald Trump has tightened sanctions on Iran too. And North Korea, and yeah. The FDA bill. Yeah, I don't even remember hearing about that one. And START treaty. So Donald Trump had any treaties approved by Congress? I don't think he has. But you're talking about 8 years versus 2 years, right? I mean, come on. Like, to sit down and say that Congress isn't doing anything because Donald Trump is um, ineffective with Congress, I think is kind of silly. Like, Congress isn't doing anything because Congress is deadlocked. It has nothing to do with the president. It's just silly. Just silly, guys. In my opinion. Oh, they didn't like that. They downvoted me hard. Now, maybe later I will do a little bit of reading on all of the things that they did and I can point out. I would have to have more citations to take that one on. But it is a both sides thing. Come on. It has nothing to do with the president, man. I wonder why they seem to think that that's so important. Oh, okay, now we're taking 11.5. Well, we'll see. We might see VWAP. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, back when we were like, when I was being like super and you don't really want to trade this, it was at like what, 13? You know? 13, and now it's very, very slowly come down. So I just still don't think, I mean, this is not the kind of action you want to sit through. But you could have taken it. Obviously, the 14.5 that it showed us at the very beginning would have been a really good trade. But Yoda says that he got short 14. I don't know if I believe you. Actually, he could have gotten short 14. There was a lot of volume went through at 14 if he was around that long. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, it was an act of Congress in 2010. December of 2010. So they did it just before they lost control.
Cut the target price on Goldman Sachs stock to $190 from $245. Equity News: Barclays activists lost confidence in discussions with the bank. That's the activist Bramson.
Now that I think of it, I think that it was those like after that Congress. It wasn't until that happened that Republicans came in and started being like, "Nope, we're not going to pass anything." And then it was so really the things that he's talking about were like the few things that got passed before the current deadlock really took hold, right? Super interesting that they don't actually want to go down for their they're not going right to 10 half. It's a little weird. Mm-mm-mm.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. I would say Streets, how's it going? Coming in for equities. We got 5 minutes till equities go on. Sorry, I was just typing there. But yeah, it's interesting that we're getting some buying here in ZB. Yeah. I'm wondering, are we going to get a little turnaround? That ZB I don't know. I'm not going to trade ZB. So we just watch it, but it looks like ZB is giving you much better price than everything else.
Short 2534.25.
25.34. Going short into this is interesting. Yeah, so did you notice this liquidity that they have at like 30? I can't see it on the DOM at the moment, but when they ripped through there, they left a really bright white line there. So I'm wondering if we're going to revisit that a little bit later. So we actually got a little bit of steepening through that. And there hasn't been a huge change in the spread through the whole overnight session. So it doesn't really make sense. I think that if you could get filled at '07, that I would probably do it if I traded CB, which I don't. But let's just stick it in the back of our head, like, oh, we wanted to do that. See, now you could buy '07. I don't know. Uh, so from a risk perspective, I think it makes sense. And maybe I could buy '07 and sell '08, let's just say. Or maybe even '09. But the question is the E-mini really gonna to go down here? That's the question. Well, let's just make sure that I'm on the right account. I have to be there. Okay, we're gonna try it. I don't know. E-mini does not, as of yet, appear to be. Oh, there we go. Here you go. Interesting. Okay, so here's the open. Selling on the open. Okay, treasuries are moving up. ZB not really going. Hmm. getting really thick, so there's a lot of disagreement right now.
Hello, do you think BTC will retrace a little before going up?
That's via a statement.
Hold on. I didn't hear what the squawk said. Do you think Bitcoin will retrace a little before going up? I think that Bitcoin is like too high right now. If Bitcoin gets to 4,500, I'm going to outright short it. If I can find a place to do so. I haven't really done a whole lot of research about that, but I'm like skeptical that it's ever going to get there.
Multi-lots take first profit.
Multi-lots take first profit. Okay. Because he took 34. Ah, okay. 1. So they've taken 08 several times, but not a whole lot have gone into 07. They're also holding this 12 AF here pretty strongly. Right? Ooh, okay. But they keep stacking a lot at 08. Wow. Super thick. Ah, 07. 500 contracts offered. The other two not. It's not justified. Where is this? Let's change this stop volume to 50 and.
Okay. What do you think will happen after the Bitfinex maintenance is over? Good.
Well, that's interesting. So I wasn't aware that anything was going on with Bitfinex, but my long-term view, based on my indicator, is that you're going to see a lot of people trying to accumulate here in this area for short-term trades. But then you'll probably see here towards the later end of January the usual tax selling that you see every year, and that could potentially take us down to 2000.
Do you think there is a pattern? https://bit.ly/2cv78il.
Oh, it doesn't like that. Wants to give me a screensaver. No thanks. Give me a PNG. I think that might be an attempt, like a hack attempt. I'm just gonna. No thanks. I'm just going to remove that one because I don't trust that link. Okay, like I got one tick out of that and now they are much lower. Wonder if Ace got out completely or if he's still holding it. I think that the E-mini might move down here still. And I don't know. Oops. Well, let's do it.
Seeing that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is to visit China.
Oh boy. You gotta be fast. I forgot how fast you have to be in ZB, huh? Well, I wonder if they're gonna take this fast because that's a lot there to wait. I'm pulling. They're actually buying 07. That's interesting. Oh, man. Oh, man, I hope you kept that, Ace. I hope you kept that. Ah, they went right through that price level that we had, didn't they? Treasury's not reacting that strongly, though, still. And even though Treasuries, ZN and ZF are going
bit.ly/2cv78il.
Even though these are going up, ZB is not following. Alright, let's see here. No. Alright. I don't know. Seems like there's just sell pressure, like they must be, somebody is trying to steepen. So that's the same. Nope. Nope. Give me a PNG. Yep. Yep. See, it didn't even. It wouldn't have even let me download it if I had tried. So don't click that link. See, even though the E-mini has been selling here, the 30-year continues to sell. And the 5 and the 10 aren't even really doing anything. And there's still this big order at 08. Kind of, I don't know. And the E-mini is doing like a head and shoulders type of pattern now too. So let's see here. Let's cool. So
Just hearing from the UK's FCA here saying when the UK leaves EU, FCA will become UK regulator of credit rating agencies.
Yep, you gotta bail that one. You see, the 5-year went up to its high, and the 30-year is still at its low? I have not seen this kind of a divergence between instruments in a while. I don't know. This is exactly where I would have problems in ZB and wouldn't trade it. So you're gonna take me out. Look at that. This suck. Shouldn't have let that hold on as long as we did. But now E-mini's recovering. Why would you get... I mean, there's definitely some steepening going on here. Like, they're selling the 30-year and buying the 5-year. But I don't understand why. I mean, if the E-mini was, like, getting really negative and treasuries overall were moving up, but to see all of that and to see the ZB not going is just really bizarre to me. Okay, so there is some volume picking up at 02. And I'm seeing maybe some iceberging going on in the other ones as well. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so 3,000 at 12 in the 10-year. So that kind of looks like some accumulation there. I mean, we're coming back down and they're holding it at 12. I think that's significant. Wondering if we've had a reversal of some sort here.
Just picking up on a comment here from Elon Musk saying he's very optimistic about the long-term future of China.
Yeah. But the 5-year did go short at 26.5, and the last couple of big orders were sells, so they may try pushing down again. Be careful. I'm interested why I'm not getting filled here at 02. Of course. Okay, but they did fight it at O2. Curious. And there's 5K at 10 in the 10 year. At 12. I think. We'll see what happens. Okay. Since I'm already in here, but I was thinking maybe I should have bought 12. Taking a real trade. Still a lot of selling there. And not that O2 not quite reacting the way that I want it to now. It's been a long time since I've seen Treasuries act like this. There must be a lot of interest on both sides. The E-mini has had a really hard time with 25.35, hasn't it? Like they had a really good sell and they were able to come back to it, and now they came back to it and they failed it. They're failing it again.
Just with 10 minutes now until the top of the hour, we get the release of US ISM non-manufacturing PMI for December, looking for an estimate of 59 against a prior 60.7, the range 54 to 60.8. We also get business activity, looking for an estimate of 64 against a prior 65.2, the range 53.8 to 65. For employment index, looking for no estimates but a prior of 58.4, new orders a prior of 62.5, and price paid index at a prior of 64.3. We'll also get the release of Canadian IV PMI for December, seasonally adjusted, looking for an estimate of 56.8 against a prior 57.2, and the North Straight IV PMI for December, no estimates but a prior of 57.3.
So there's some indications in ZB that now the buyers are overcoming the sellers. There's some iceberg here. Okay. See 1,000 there at 04. And the 5-year having trouble at 13.5. Equities. I'm not sure if they're done or not. Let's see what they do here, 28. Okay. You're going to go for a new low? Probably, yeah. It's too close. Yeah. 1500 at 04. Hmm. They kind of had to coax them into it, but they did take it there. Well, I think that the E-mini is pulled back. They might go again. Yeah, okay. So I can see them kind of balancing above my price, so that's good. And they're going to go again. Yep. 05 and 06 is not pulling. In fact, a little bit of liquidity moved up to 06 in ZB. So that's curious. And they're not pulling, and they're trading back down to 04. Wow. There's some real the thing is there's definitely some selling here in treasuries. And I can see them doing it, right? But that seller is not in control per se. Like it is there is market buying here in this market for sure. And if the E-mini makes a new overnight low, perhaps you might see that yeah, there's news in Yoda pointing out there's news in 5 minutes, so I'm aware of that. That's why I'm kind of eyeing it really closely here, because I'm not going to hold it through the news. But I'm just wondering if the E-mini is going to go for a new low, and if this you could get to a point, especially if they get like over 06, because it could just be a spreader, you know? It could be a spreader at 06, and if they get over 06, then, ooh, yeah, look at that. That was a good bid. If they get over 06, then we could really see this go up to the highs of the day in CB, and that would be a really great trade. And the 05 is a lot weaker now. See what I mean? So it's like somebody's definitely selling it at 05, but in the action, it looks like the buyer is in control. Now, maybe they're the same person. Maybe this guy, maybe somebody is trying to push it up to 06 because they want some fills there. But even if that was the case, they push it through there. Okay, that was a good uptick too. And there's not a whole lot at 06. It's kind of rolling the liquidity up. That's interesting. Okay, a little bit more holding at 06. Hmm.
Just under 3 minutes now to the top of the hour in the US data. ISM non-manufacturing PMI for December, look for an estimate of 59. Business activity, looking for an estimate of 64. Employment, a prior of 58.4. New orders, a prior of 62.5. And price paid, a prior of 64.3. We'll also get Canadian IV PMI seasonally adjusted for December, an estimate of 56.8. And the IV PMI, no estimate but a prior of 57.3.
Okay. Well, we got to get out soon, so let's just try and get 05. Because the offers that time were a little bit more significant, I think. I think perhaps sellers deciding that was all they were going to get. It was really the strong buying in the 5-year. Okay. It would have been better trade in the 10-year. That's funny.
One minute.
Should have bought the iceberg at 12. See the iceberg and then the strong liquidity that showed up below it, and the yeah, everybody's pulling now. You see this over here? I need like a bigger thing. See this right here? In the Vista chart for the 10-year. I pulled it. They held it and pushed it up. Okay, let's refresh our memory. We are looking for
10 seconds.
59.6.
57.6 for the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Business activity coming in at 59.9. Employment coming in at 56.3. New orders coming in at 62.7. And price paid coming in at 57.6. Canadian IV PMI seasonally adjusted coming in at 59.7. And the IV PMI coming in at 48.2. Just to repeat that then, ISM non-manufacturing PMI coming in at 57.6 and business activity coming in at 59.9.
Equities kind of liked that. That's interesting. The numbers were bad. Well, IV PMI was good. The numbers overall were bad. And look at that big spoof there at the... Normally I would sell that.
Just looking at some of the details of that, service company saying optimistic but still concerned about the tariffs.
They liked it. What's with that, guys? And why is this default view should be this week? There we go. So is somebody long and they just took profits or losses or whatever, and that's what moved us down here? I don't know. That was really weird. Something's wrong with my DOM. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I broke Ninja Trader. CES is not responding.
The chat is ready to display messages.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna have to kill it. You know, it's interesting. You get the bridge where you can go put the data into NinjaTrader and then take it into Day Trader. But really, it should be the other way around. I would much prefer to have my data come in through Day Trader and then get passed on to NinjaTrader 8. So that if NinjaTrader dies, which happens all the time, that, you know, you're okay. Or we're going to have to end task to it now. Oh, children. What's going on? Stop that. Stop. Okay. Yeah, that really sucks. Hi, Josiah. If I wasn't done for the day, I would be tempted to short 25.38. No, how come I didn't see that message? Do you think Ethereum will go up? Well, so as we were talking about earlier, here's my Bitcoin chart. It appears to me that what happened was somebody was going I mean, perhaps I don't really see it in the futures, but it looks to me like somebody went short around 3,800 and it never broke, and then on Friday he took it off and price moved up. So I would be, it depends on your time horizon and everything and what you really think is going to happen in Bitcoin, but I would be a little bit cautious about buying it here, because that's something that's really likely to retrace. right? But I'm more concerned that it appears to me. Oops, why did that move? It appears to me that Bitcoin it's showing indications of really strong buying, too strong really for where we're at in the situation and everything. And so I'm concerned that we're going to get overbought again at around 4,500 in Bitcoin, and then we'll move down. Because my indicator is still predicting a move to 2000. 11 and 9. I don't know. This is really weird action. It's not really weird action. I don't understand why they reacted to the news the way that they did. I'm missing something here. What am I missing? U.S. 10-year Treasury prices erase earlier gains after ISM data. Yields rise to 2.6%. And Zero Hedge says that almost makes sense. U.S. services economy plummets in December. This is the third largest monthly decline since the financial crisis. This does not make sense to me. Trump says U.S. will leave Syria at proper pace, leisurely. Okay. That was 10 minutes ago. Well, I'm very suspicious of this move. I'm very suspicious of this move. It should not be going down. Like what just happened there was not bullish for the economy. Yeah. See, trading on Twitch, that makes sense, right? Let me give you some permissions. Like if somebody was really negative and they took that and then the number came out and they bailed and nobody else wanted to trade it, Yeah, Treasuries knew that ISM non-manufacturing was going to be lower because of the ISM manufacturing from last week and took the opportunity to sell it at high prices, and therefore it was already priced in, perhaps. Wow, let's go on a lot, back and forth a lot at 28. So is this where equities are now going to retrace it and move down? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was really weird, guys. Like somebody just bought that. Like stopped out of a position. I do vaguely recall seeing that before and being really confused by it and not knowing what was going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that that indicates some change in the balance between buyers and sellers, and the buyers are in control now. See, equities are kind of on a slow meltdown. You're getting okay bids getting put up. The 10 year's not quite ready to go yet, though. Yeah, look at that. Yep, it's interesting, guys. So has anybody said anything else? See, my restream chat window is not quite working right now. Sorry. So I didn't see. I bought at 1 ETH at 8120 PHP, and I'm selling it at 8300. What strategy am I doing? I am trading without knowing how to trade. Well, listen, dude. If you don't know how to trade, my recommendation is to don't do it with real money, right? Because trading is very, very difficult. And when you are new at it, you are almost always going to lose. In Bitcoin, maybe it not be so bad. Maybe it's not a ton of money, right? But Man, trading is hard. Look at that. Jeez. Okay, so equities made a little push up, and that's what moved us there. I think those 2 ticks down. Okay. And it goes bid very easily in the 30-year. Not so much in the 10. Right there. Come on. 900 on offer. They're not buying it. This is very... This is either going to be like really great for me or really awful. I don't know. I'm still going with my seeing the stops. I believe that buyers still have control. That's my reading of the order flow. But there was a lot of selling on that move down, and that 08.5 is not going bid. Right? And there's Treasuries falling down a little bit. Okay. Picking up a little bit of speed now as they're getting towards the lower end of that range. Okay, 085 finally went bid. Not a strong bid, but if you sold into it and it held, the 5-year not looking like it's like super anxious to move though. Yeah, and that pulling. So at the very least, if buyers are still in control, they're just not ready to take it yet. Okay. Not a whole lot of interest in selling the treasuries either. Oh, look at that. Okay. Busting right up through there. Good. E-mini probably fails this level here. Yeah. They kind of did a little head fake there before taking it down lower. That was something else. Lots of people watching on YouTube today. Am I showing up on some searches for cryptocurrencies again today? So I'm getting a lot of questions about crypto. Okay, thank you for your advice. I'm in Philippines and I am buying at CoinSH and selling it on CoinSpo. My profit is sometimes 0.25 in my capital. Oh, well, so what you are doing, Josiah, is arbitrage, and I think that's super smart. And as long the thing that I would say to you is just if you're doing arbitrage, you always want to try and make sure that you're in the direction with the momentum, because you don't want to run into a situation where it starts running away from you and you have to chase it down and you take a big loss, right? So avoid, that kind of a place where it could reverse on you. Look for the places where it's quiet and you can get your fill on both exchanges really easily, right? And then make sure that you have a little bit of money and liquidity on both exchange so that you are free, right? So that you can buy it here and sell it here, and you don't have to wait for like the money to switch between the two of them, right? So I would be thinking very, very short term. So if you're thinking very, very short term, Bitcoin does the momentum was up where it maybe at a reversal point. But geez, I don't know. So I did not like that tick down here. And I may just scratch this. Yep. Now it's probably going to go without me, but so you shouldn't be doing that. I don't know, guys. It is not retracing yet. It started to. I don't know. Could also be. So hold on. Let's try and restart Restream Chat because it's not showing me like all of the messages. All of those messages that Josiah put in and didn't show it to me.
The chat is ready to display messages.
Okay. So we'll see now. Somebody puts a message into YouTube if it does it. Nope, it didn't do it. I'm also at 21.5% by the can spell it. At arbitrage. Arbitrage. You're doing inter-exchange arbitrage. So you're taking advantage of the price difference between two exchanges. Well, I'm kind of liking 28 here, the way that it's holding, but equities look really strong still. Okay. So anyways, I was saying for those of you with into the cryptocurrency thing, I have a Patreon where I post Bitcoin charts every day, and that'll give you a much better idea of what my longer term view is. But what the indicator is indicating to me at the moment is that Bitcoin is probably likely to have another push lower here at the beginning of the year in this first quarter. By the way, I'm only 17, so that's why I'm sending long messages. Hey, no, it's totally cool. You should join. So the other thing is our Discord has like lots of good information. So if you go into the Discord and there's a cryptocurrency channel or a Bitcoin channel, and join that and tell people what you're doing, you might enjoy it. Okay, so that tick down wasn't necessarily good, but there is the iceberg here in the 10 years. So that's this.
If
this
I wasn't done
what
for
I
the
wanted.
day, I would be tempted to short 2,538.
See, now it's showing me like really old messages. So we're just going to turn that off. Yeah, I don't know. So far in the 30-year, the way I got filled in the 10-year was good. The way that I got filled in that 30-year was very, very bad. Looks like Restream is just like way backlogged. See that? Like that 10 now showing at 28. Some buying in E-mini. That was a little bit too much for that location. May have had a little bit of a head fake there. Well, is that 1,000 at 28 going to pull? We get another tick up here and that pulls. No. Well, I think that my little experiment here in the 30-year today did not turn out for me, did it? Well, my price went bid again in the 10-year. And the bot sends it over to Twitch just fine, but not YouTube. That's so weird. I don't know. I think one of the things that's happening is people are going to Twitch and they're seeing that there's more people chatting on YouTube, and so they're moving over to YouTube. Okay. Ah, it did pull. Yes, good deal. All right, I'm happy. Yes. Okay, so it's 109. 09. Okay. So gotta be careful. We're just into the let's see here. In stocks, Corpro and crypto are the same when it comes in indicators, tools, etc. Because here in the Philippines, there's no Filipino streamer vlogger when it comes to crypto. Oh yeah. Well, so I'm going to say yes and no. So here's the thing. What you see on your screen right now is order flow. Remember that term, order flow. So I am watching volume, and I'm watching the volume at individual prices, and I am also watching the level 2, which are these bids and offers here, okay, to see how it responds to those changes. And that's how I trade, okay? This information is not available everywhere. So most retail traders in stocks don't have access to this information. Wow, that was a strong move up. Most retail traders do not have access to this information in stocks. But most cryptocurrency exchanges do have this information. So what you're seeing here can actually be very useful to trading cryptocurrencies. But the way that cryptocurrencies behave and the way that treasuries behave is very different. So you can learn a lot of information from watching here that will be useful in being able to judge cryptocurrencies. but you have to watch cryptocurrencies a lot and figure out how those rules apply over there. I've noticed that in cryptocurrencies on a short-term basis, some big whale can come in and just like, you know, move price $100 all by themselves in cryptocurrencies. And so you tend to get a lot of really random movement. And so in cryptocurrencies, I would be very skeptical and cautious about any kind of like, technical indicator that you see that appears to be really consistent. You know what I mean? Like if you see it's always holding to this moving average, chances are that a bunch of other people are going to see it and somebody's going to try and target that. Okay, so it's giving it to me again. Perhaps that news from earlier just doesn't matter. Maybe they're like, okay, the news is passed. Now we can buy equities because it was bad, but we already knew that it was bad and everything's fine now, and let's buy stocks. Because this move, it is not in line with what that news was. That news was bad, and they're buying it. So did I not get anything out of that? I guess not. No, 7 looks very balanced. Equity's kind of getting ahead of themselves a little bit, though. That's a real, probably some short squeezing going on there. You can see the treasuries are still not like... because I'm watching stock market tutorial and applying it in crypto. The thing is, in my app, I only have Bitcoin, etc. Yeah. Well, so the place that I learned how to trade is No BS Day Trading, because he sells education. Yeah. So yes, so Josiah is saying I observed that the 4 cryptos are sometimes the same. Sometimes Bitcoin goes more bullish than the others, and sometimes other ones will go more bullish. Yes. So this is a very key thing to watch, because what happens is people are trying to increase the amount of Bitcoin they have by trading between the two of them. So watch where people move things to, because especially at tops, what you will notice is like Bitcoin will crash, and then all of a sudden Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash are doing really, really well, and everybody buys them and they think, oh, okay, everything's fine, and then Bitcoin rises, and what's happening is they take their profits in Ethereum and move it to Bitcoin, and then they sell a Bitcoin and they get out of the market, right? So that's why you see that. And if we're seeing that a little bit now. One of the things is their Bitcoin Cash moved, like last month, and that was kind of what triggered this whole fall. But that was because of something specific in Bitcoin Cash, that they had a fork that was very contentious. So that's why Bitcoin Cash did that. But yeah, you can definitely apply order flow. Like what we're watching here, you can kind of see how people were going short, and then Friday they gave up and it really moved. So that's why I think that this was a short squeeze. But you just got to be careful because when there's a short squeeze, the question is, does that short squeeze affect the way that future investors want to go in? Like, does that all of a sudden make people like really, really want to buy? I think that may be the case here, that the only people that really were there to buy were the short sellers. And now that the short sellers are out, I don't really see a whole lot of new investors coming into cryptocurrencies right now, especially at the beginning of the year, which is always bad for cryptocurrencies. Beginning of the year is traditionally a poor time for cryptocurrencies, and so that's why I'm still of the view that now is not really a good time to buy cryptos. Oh, I saw XRP 15 to 44 and dropped to 23, and I saw it live. Wow. That's a move. Well, it's getting close to when I gotta go. I hope that, because I know you don't speak English, I hope that I'm trying to, use the terms that you can use to like look up. So like if I say something that doesn't make sense, just ask me and I'll try and explain it better. Well, see, I think the problem that I'm having right now is that there doesn't appear to be a strong somebody in control in Treasuries anymore. I think that the buying at 07 that I saw was probably somebody taking profits from their short that they had earlier. And I usually stop trading sometime between 8:30 and 9 o'clock my time. So unless equities like really fall apart here, yeah. Well, 2 years, Lord Blue was saying this morning, bought some back near the low of day. It's back down there now. Talking about
Brexit debate here. Timetable of motion scheduled for Wednesday.
Okay, so there was a lot at 075. So that's something we've got to watch. So the only trade that we really took in the 10-year, we got one tick out of it. And everything in the 30-year, we were able to just...
ECB's Hansen is speaking at the panel in Riga. No comments of note yet.
That's not quite right, because that's 1, 2... Oh, okay, yes, it is. This one should have been 2 ticks. I don't know why I got the 1, but maybe had I been watching it, I would have taken 2 instead of 1. But I must not have been paying enough attention. It looks like this might be good for more. They did break through the 075.
Just seeing Brexit secretary here saying seeking legal and political reassurances on deal.
Are you a full-time trader? No, I have a day job. So that's why I stop around this time. And so I'm going to post my notes here. Let's see, what does Restream look like now? See, it's still showing me stuff from 8:11. So I don't know what the deal is. It's kind of funny. You really gotta fix it. I'm sure that Restream is probably doing all sorts of stuff on there, and I'm guessing it's going to be inconsistent for the near foreseeable future. So anyways, I'm going to post my cryptocurrency notes, so I'm going to go quiet here for a little bit, and that's a good time to ask any more questions, like last minute questions before I go. But I just wanted to point out, so my whole thing was the 30-year looked really low. I was seeing some spreading, and things looked like Treasuries were going to move back up or bounce off the VWAP. So I bought ZB. That did not work out. I was able to pull some ticks out and make all of that back, but that experiment did not work out. So we got to remember, like, when ZB is low comparatively speaking, there's definitely a trade opportunity there, but it's just kind of hard to know which way it's actually going to go. In that particular case, we were steepening, so you would expect the 10 and the 5 to go up and the 30 to go down, and because I was buying it, I'm going against the spread. I think that's kind of why it didn't work out. I was expecting the spread to come back into line. The spread did come back into line, but the way that it did so was by the 10-year having a huge move down. So, yeah, I don't, and I'm not quite sure why it happened, but I think that it may be because of people closing positions. That's the best theory I have. Trying to keep them away from the meat grinder. Yep. It's happened 10 out of 13 times that the E-mini went up after the 10-year went down. Well, yeah, I mean, the correlation is absolutely... What's this picture? Oh. 10 out of 13 times the S&P moved up following a similar release. Similar release probably...
Saudi plans to cut crude exports to 7.1 million daily barrels. Saudi plans export cut of 800,000 barrels a day from November levels. That's OPEC officials there, coming from the Dow Jones.
What qualifies as a similar release?
The OPEC officials, Saudis to make new export cuts, hoping for $80 oil.
Well, that would be interesting if that's actually the stat, because then I'd even be even more confused. All right, let's generate our charts. Don't be confused with effects. Yeah, what is the specifics? Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm talking about earlier than that. Okay, let's see here what they said about that. The old bad news is good news, right? Exactly. I think that that's kind of what was happening. Bad news equals no hike, Treasuries moving up higher. Am I missing something here? Well, no, it was my mistake. Yeah, basically the pattern works or doesn't work depending on how the QE is going. Money supply and global stocks market cap go fairly well in hand. Okay, so now you guys are saying maybe because manufacturing is so poor, the Federal Reserve is going to have to hold off on interest rates, and that overall is really, really bad. Especially if you get into this situation where the China trade war subsides, but the Federal Reserve still has to hold off on raising interest rates for a long time because it will take some time for that manufacturing to come back in. Ooh, that's I really don't like that, because that totally could happen. You could totally have a situation where the Federal Reserve has to keep interest rates low, even though some really strong growth is about to come in. And really what they should be doing is they should be raising rates, but they can't really, because if they raise rates, the markets would just absolutely hate it. It would be really, really bad setup. Oh, so they're like, their hands are tied, and then when we do move up, it would happen too fast, and they would have to raise too fast, and then I don't like it. It's kind of like resolving the trade war would be good, but it kind of sets up some, the chances of us overdoing it. Maybe
Seeing Brexit Secretary here saying extending Article 50 isn't a unilateral move.
Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but it kind of concerns me.
Brexit Secretary here saying government's firm intention is not to extend Article 50.
Okay. Well, anyways, I don't see any other questions, but it was great meeting those of you that were new in today. I hope that I gave you everything that answered all your questions, Josiah. If you have other questions, just go into Discord at the link in the video description. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon, check out the Patreon, because there's some good information about cryptocurrencies that could make money for you. And I will be back again tomorrow, so I will see you then.